City, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. A beautiful night for college basketball inside historic Memorial Gymnasium, where tonight, for the 150th time, the Alabama Crimson Tide, coming in ranked 13th in the country, getting set to tangle with number 11 and undefeated Vanderbilt with Damian Fishback, Roy Philpott. So glad you could join us. And leading the charge tonight for the Commodores, the return of the Duke. Duke Miles is back after missing Saturday in the road win in South Carolina.
Yeah, what a pickup for Coach Mark Byington in Vanderbilt. Duke Miles, the 6'2", 188 graduate transfer from Oklahoma, has been electric for the Commodores this year. Part of a backcourt, they're scoring 40 points per game from their guards this year. And at the same time, you've got Tyler Tanner, the SEC's most improved player, 14 assists last game, along with Tyler Nickel. The young man had 8 threes in 26 minutes on the road at Wake Forest. We're in for a treat.
Alabama backcourt, Fish, you've called them one of the best, if not the best in America. The numbers certainly support the notion tonight.
Yeah, they fed off of one another all season long, continue to make each other better. You think about Mark Sears last year, the leader on this basketball team, where these two have taken the baton and they are off to the races. Electric, small guards who can get into the teeth of the defense and knock down long-distance shots.
LeBaron Philon, Aiden Holloway just about set, ready to go, a near packed house on hand. Happy New Year. What a way to start in the SEC. The second game for both Vanderbilt and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Opening tap control by the home team in the retro jerseys, the Commodores. And Tyler Tanner, an early touch. He'll walk it up. The pace should be chaotic tonight. These two teams know how to score the basketball.
Mark Byington told us that this game wouldn't be won in the 70s or 80s, partner. He said, we're going to have to get to 90.
Tyler Nickel off the bounce and was fouled by Holloway. That'll be his first, and free throws coming for number 5 in white. Now, Nickel at the charity stripe, kind of a bonus. You think about him as a three-point specialist, but he's a guy that can get to the line and do some things, create some damage on the opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. You think about him, an 83% career free throw shooter, 78.9% this season. And I think that goes to the announcer, Jink. I don't know if that was me or you, but it's early. We got another, 39.36 minutes, Roy?
We do. 1 of 2 for Nickel. It's a good way to start with the old Jinx. First touch for Alabama. Crimson Tide coming in at 11-3. They have been tested rigorously. Outstanding non-conference slate this year. On the road to the SEC tonight. Philon nearly lost it and did out of bounds. Vanderbilt underrated defensively.
Well, you think about them in the SEC, they're second in field goal percentage, first in three-point percentage defense, and turn teams over about 14 times a game, doing that by 10 steals a game. They came a long way since last year.
Tanner, the step back, had the adrenaline going on the deep three, and it's out of bounds back to Bama. I mean, you could feel the surge in energy in this crowd about 30 minutes before tip, and for Nate Oates, year number 7. His eyes on the prize again, a deep run in another NCAA tournament appearance this year.
How about A.J. Okereke starting out on LeBaron Philon and doing a great job.
Okereke was there. You mentioned him.
Well, I'm wondering if they're doing that because of his size, 6'7", 245 graduate. Senior out of Cornell, actually graduated in 3 years. You know how sharp he is.
How do you do that in the Ivy League?
I don't know, but he's a bag man.
From the corner, that's a 3, and Bama connects on its first triple. It's Holloway. He's been on a heater.
One of the best stories in college basketball. The young transfer from Auburn has really come and just taken it to the next level.
Duke Miles, the response. And we expect to see a lot of this tonight, Fish. There's another turnover off the knee of Reitzel.
You get that Memorial Magic feeling, don't you? A lot of energy in this building right now. Don Daly right there on the call. Outstanding officiating crew as well.
1-point lead for the Commodores, nearly 2 minutes in Nashville. Crazy night last night in the SEC. More chaos already today in the early window. Okereke from downtown. Oh, net. Tom Hart, thank you very much. Here in Music City, what a start for the home team. Bama with it with Damian Fishback, Roy Philpott, and another steal for the Commodores. 7-3 our score. Oh, swinging around to Duke Miles. Miles back in action after missing the last 2 ball games. Crimson Tide on the move. Stolen again. And a bump and a foul on Reitzel. That's his first.
Well, Roy, this is the type of pace you should expect, right? Both teams expected to get up into the 90s here tonight. Outstanding backcourts on both sides. Alabama about 57 points per game from their guards, and Vanderbilt 40. Duke Miles back after missing the last 2 games, but he looks healthy to me.
Take a look at the remaining undefeated programs in college basketball. We have one on full display tonight in Vanderbilt. Just 6 remaining in college hoops this year. And the Commodores, one of the big surprises in the SEC. Picked 11th in the preseason poll. They are exceeding that every sense of the word. Deep triple. And Nickel off the right side. McLaughlin on the offensive glass. Oh, that was crafty. Tanner with a path and a finish. Fish, it was Alabama that was the battle-tested team coming into tonight with games against Purdue, Arizona, Gonzaga, and more. We wondered how would Vanderbilt respond. The schedule hasn't been as tough. It's a good start for the home team so far. Yeah,
and this Commodore team has been tested. You know, they've knocked off the likes of top 25 SMU, Central Florida, knocked off St. Mary's, who's picked 2nd behind Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference. Right now, the Commodores are coming in with a chip on their shoulder like they've got something to prove.
You talked about Tyler Tanner as the most improved player in the SEC. We have seen it all season long and to start here.
He's got the quickest first step in the conference.
An opening haymaker for the Commodores inside, and a great finish by Holloway. He's got all 5 Bama points.
You know, I said this today, and I had to catch myself, but I believe it. Because Aiden Holloway has the ability to stretch the floor so much, he can be a tougher guard than the Barry Fireline as McLaughlin with the finish.
Tanner had 14 dimes Saturday in the win in Columbia. It's one of the reasons why that vision and the precision on the passing with a bounce inside, and this crowd has been at a fever pitch from the jump. Holloway fouled by Nickel. That's his first. And the first team foul against the Commodores.
Roy, this Memorial Magic, this energy, this crowd is ready. And if you got a crowd that's ready, you want a young man who's prepared to before. Tyler, close to his hometown, Tanner.
Downtown Nashville buzzing. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. The hometown team off and running inside Memorial Gymnasium. The Vanderbilt Commodores in the midst of a 12-2 scoring run, forcing 4 Alabama turnovers so far. Crimson Tide averaged just 10 per game this season. So glad you could join us. The energy, well, it's electric tonight at this historic venue. Damian Fishback, Roy Philpott, your thoughts on how this game has started?
Well, it's what we expected. It's a track meet, both teams getting up and down, and the team in the Commodores have a greater sense of desperation because they have a lot to prove, even though they've proven so much already. You know, you look at Alabama, a team that's knocked off St. John's, knocked off Illinois, played the likes of Gonzaga and Purdue and Arizona, and people continue to question this Commodore team. At home in their backyard, I think they have a lot to prove tonight. They've done it thus far in the first 4 minutes.
Alabama basketball after the foul on Tyler Nickel. And the shot clock already down to 5. Taylor Bowen checks in. Good to see him back healthy for tonight's ball game, off the mark from downtown. Well, here comes Tyler Tanner. At times, Fish, it feels like he's got the basketball on a string. Okereke. Duke Miles is healthy. We should point out, too, we've yet to see Aiden Sherrill for the Crimson Tide, one of their top rebounders, and Mark Byington indicating earlier today to us that if there's no Sherrill, that's big advantage for his club in the rebounding department.
Oh, yeah, you look across the country, you saw it as recent as last night. Somto Sherrill goes out of the game, and it's a difference in night and day for the Florida Gators, who dominated with their big guys scoring close to 60 points.
How about the rotation? Tyler Harris thought about it. On the dribble drive, no, and a foul inside against the Commodores. It'll go against Jalen Washington. His first second team foul.
You wonder if you're Alabama right now. You're down 8 points on the road, and let's remember the difference in this arena, right? They may be accustomed to Nate Oates being on the sideline. Right now, they can't see Nate Oates. He's behind them, so these younger players are somewhat on their own.
Phylon with a path and an easy layup, 13-7.
Yeah, it looks like he's settled in a little bit.
Second leading scorer in the SEC. We should point out, too, this is going to be a game of magnificent runs potentially with the pace that we expect tonight. Washington, no.
Now, this is what you can't do is if you're the Commodores. You can't have a broken defense. That's pretty good, though.
Bowen nearly turned it over. Held him out of the win against Kentucky on Saturday. 4th straight against Big Blue Nation. Weak side board by Harris.
Alabama really playing with a team full of 5 guards. No inside presence without Aiden Sherrill in this game right now.
Great look to Washington, rejected, and then fouled on the putback. Amari Allen clipped him on the way up. That's his first.
Well, if I'm the Commodores right now, I dominate on the interior until Aiden Sherrill gets in there. And you can see number 13 in white, the transfer from North Carolina, Jalen Washington, 6'10", 245 pounds, is doing just that.
7th year for Nate Oates. Run to the Final Four. Lead 8. You want to talk about wins overall in the league. And in that non-conference schedule going back to his first season in Tuscaloosa, nobody's won more than what Nate Oates has.
Well, you think about Nate at Alabama, right? Never had a Final Four before he got there. 2 regular season titles before Nate Oates got there. That was 2002. A couple of SEC tournament titles. That hadn't happened since 1991. And, of course, in 2021, getting SEC Coach of the Year. He's done it all and been dominant in the SEC since he's gotten here.
Inside. 2 free throws coming for Phylon. Baron Phylon to the charity stripe. 73% free throw shooter, first team All-SEC, going back to that preseason poll. And as the second leading scorer in the conference, trailing only Josh Hubbard at Mississippi State. He's gotten off to a fantastic start for a different team without Mark Sears.
Yeah, and Mark Sears did so much, but I feel like that he was able to feed off of Mark Sears. And you can see his numbers thus far, very efficient, 54% from the field, and distributing the basketball better than he gets credit for. But I also think that has transitioned to Aiden Holloway. When those two guards are scoring well, they are very challenging to defend. And Latrell Wrightsell, number 3 in Crimson, is the guy that I'm watching who was out with an injury last year. He at one point was their best guard. He's still trying to get back.
Tyler Tanner weaving through traffic, connects on the floater. Boy, the shot is pure. It's a different shot this year. There's more arc on it, and the field goal percentage, especially from downtown, is way up.
Yeah, he's, close to 50%. I think 47% from 3 this year, was 26% last year. And that defense that he has always been there.
Bylon was stripped. Here comes Tanner again, 15-8 Vandy. Dazzling moves on the perimeter. Tanner retreats. Outside to Harris. Off the back iron with the attempted layup.
That's good defense by Alabama that time.
Houston Millett has checked in for the first time. All he did against UK was bomb in 4 threes in the first 20 minutes in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. Now it's Wrightsell. Little stop and pop.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm used to seeing. Latrell Wrightsell goes down even a couple of years ago where Nate Oates said that they would have won the SEC championship again if he didn't go down and get injured. He is a critical piece, a 40+% career three-point shooter.
Vanderbilt trying to earn a living in the paint. Their last 8 attempts coming from inside the three-point arc. Wrightsell baseline, triple team. Jemison left open. Noah Williamson nearly grabbed the rebound. They need some production out of him coming off the Crimson Tide bench tonight. And after a standout performance against UK, really his first solid outing of the season, the transfer, the former Patriot League Player of the Year. And a Bucknell. Well, the spin, and Washington loses it. 15-10. Wrightsell rejected by Nickel. McLaughlin dives for it. Tyler Tanner. And a foul over the back. Clean grab by Washington. Vanderbilt basketball when we come back leading by 5 here in Nashville. KC, Seth, Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Big victory for the Huskies and a good start for the home team back in Music City in this top 15 showdown. Damian Fishback, Roy Philpott, and the Vanderbilt defense, surprisingly, we talk about the offensive numbers. The defense has been incredible, and just like that, Tyler Nickel connects.
Yeah, it's going to get incredibly ugly for Alabama Crimson Tide if Tyler Nickel gets going. We're talking about a guy who had 8 threes in 26 minutes, and that's the guy we also spoke about, Latrell Wrightsell. As he comes and continues to improve, that makes that backcourt for Alabama even more challenging to guard.
Wrightsell with 5 points Sunday against UK, attempting those 7 triples. To the rack goes Duke Miles. That'll make it 20-13. These two teams, Fish, Bama averaging over 94 points per game coming into tonight, and Vanderbilt a shade over 93. So if one team gets up by 8, 10, 12,
sure,
it's really not that big of a deal because both programs can score. Wrightsell Jr. again, in and out. Allen couldn't corral it inside, and Bristow could. Back to a 5-point affair.
Bristow is a huge difference maker. His versatility, his size at 6'10", 205 pounds is critical.
And a chance for 4. On cue, Duke Miles. He's healthy. The knee feels great tonight. And a chance for a 4-point play.
And Roy, this is the reason why, as much as people complain about the transfer portal, I love it for these young men and women, because Duke Miles started out at Troy, continued to work on his game, play that guitar in Music City. I see you, brother. He went from Troy to High Point, then Oklahoma with Porter Moser last year, and then he ends up in Vanderbilt. And he's found a place where he's comfortable. It's good for the Commodores, and it's good for him.
It's a lot of miles for Duke for the hard way.
I like that. I like that.
Halfway home in a very entertaining start at Memorial Gymnasium. And the Memorial Magic, as they love to call it around these parts, on full display so far. Holloway behind the back, coming off back-to-back 26-point outbursts. Baseline jumper is short and cleared by Okereke.
Tell you what, the recipe is they put size on those smaller guards from Alabama, and it's discouraging a little bit for Aiden Holloway. He's going to have to be able to go by and score in the paint.
McLaughlin down low. Okereke the follow. Well, Okereke's kind of wincing in pain and somehow got that one to go. Not sure if he's cramping up. That did happen in Columbia on Saturday afternoon. And Mark Byington, sensing what we were just talking about. 2 substitutions getting ready to check in. Stripped away by Chandler Bing, who just checked in on the floor, and a foul was called.
Let's take a look. Number 10 in white, A.K. Okereke, and doesn't look like too much has happened thus far. Not sure. Let's hope it's just cramps and that he can get it right and get back out on the floor.
What did you do for cramps back in the day? Is it pickle juice? What do you do?
Once the cramp comes, and I'm sure Mark Bynes is about to take him out now. Once the cramp comes, you know, there's really not a whole lot you can do. The best thing you can do as a young athlete is to make sure what you're doing off the floor is getting yourself hydrated, getting the proper amount of rest. And a lot of times these young athletes work a little too hard, right? If you got a game coming up, you may not get up 1,000 shots. Maybe you only get up 500 the day before. And I'm sure that's probably what it is.
Williamson checks back in. Philon gets a breather for head coach Nate Oates. First top 15 showdown in this arena in 52 years. It's been a while. Tanner off the bounce. There's the lob and blocked by Williamson. And a foul was called. Coming up, Saturday's ESPN schedule. 21st ranked Tennessee and Florida up first at noon. Then at 2, SMU and Duke in a top 25 showdown in the ACC. Got Arizona, #1 in the country, undefeated in Fort Worth at 4 o'clock. And then Arkansas squares off against Auburn. Complete that 4-pack of games. Duke SMU Well, it's just fun to say Boopy Miller and Cameron Boozer. What a season he's had in his first campaign in Durham.
Yeah, you know, you got the rookie against the veteran in Boopy Miller, and Cameron Boozer, one of the most bright spots amongst the freshmen. You can talk about Caleb Wilson and A.J. DeBonta, but Cameron Boozer has been as consistent as any of them. Koa Pete, which Alabama sent. But Boopy Miller's not alone. Jermaine O'Neal, right, the son of Jermaine O'Neal. He used to play with the Pacers, athletic. You got quite a few athletes in this game, too. The speed in this game is a lot quicker than you would think unless you're at the game seeing it.
Here's Holloway probing the spin. Holloway nearly spun it home off the glass. It'll stay on this end. 8:53 remaining in the half.
Mark Byington said that he felt like his team was meatier and beefier than Alabama this year. And so he felt like the glass was going to be important. Right now it's tied 10-10, but as this game continues to go on, let's see how that is impactful as much as we talk about the guards.
Holloway left open, shoved down was Tanner, and an offensive foul. It'll
Really
go
good
on Williamson.
I thought it was a really good interview with Mark Byington and John Rothstein. He talked about how good of a kid Tyler Tanner was. He said he was trying to see if he could go through all of 2026 without saying any curse words. And I think he said last year at this point, maybe he was at like 70.
I don't know who counts those words, but he said right now he's at 2.
He's at 2.
That's pretty good.
Good for him.
That's a good New Year's resolution. Third foul on Williamson. Coming off his career outing against UK. Washington swatted away at the last second.
Well,
and a foul against Vanderbilt.
That's excellent offensive execution, but even greater recovery by Bo Bowen. My goodness, watch Taylor Bo Bowen. He sees Aiden Holloway in trouble, and he gets a lot of body as well. My goodness.
That's a foul.
What did Fran say in that Arizona game? He'd get 2 to 5 in New York for that? I thought that was a good line, Fran, for sure.
Fran had some great ones last night in that comeback win for the ages for Kansas at home in OT against TCU. Holloway behind the back, has his pocket picked by Miles, and then the foul. That's going to be Aiden's second. Vanderbilt in the bonus.
You know, I think this is interesting. You see Aiden Holloway, a lot of body that time, but you got to be stronger with the ball. It's a clean steal by Duke Miles. I think we have to reiterate where these benches are. And I really think that Alabama's being impacted in this first half. You know, Nate Oates is very dynamic on the sideline, especially when they're at home. You can see him kind of pumping his fist, getting his guys ready. And as being a former player who played here before, it was much easier when I was a senior. Only played here twice than when I was a sophomore. And so I think Alabama's being impacted.
Duke Miles just came up with a steal, averaging nearly 3 per contest. Leading the SEC in that department, now in double figures with 11 points tonight. It's 30-17.
Love it. Love the response by the Commodores.
One of 6 remaining undefeated teams in college hoops. Reitzel outside to Allen. Everything difficult so far on this end of the floor for the Crimson Tide.
So when you play Alabama, there's a flow, there's a momentum. I heard the guys in the studio saying there wasn't a flow in that previous game. Alabama hasn't been able to get into their flow. 7 turnovers, one of the reasons why. And so they're not able to score, and then they're not able to stop the Commodores either.
Miles snuck in. Miles with a contact on Bo Bowen, picks up the foul. Well, they held him out of the last 2 games due to that knee. And we saw him today at shoot-around. He looked great for Mark Byington. Mark thought he would be able to go tonight, and so far, so good. The right knee looks very good. You got to deal with injuries this time of year, right? That's the thing. Bo Bowen inside. Couldn't finish. Miles spent last season at Oklahoma between the legs and back to Tanner. Chandler Bing. And a foul on the dribble drive. Free throws coming for number 7. In black and white when we come back. Commodores off and running here in Nashville.
An incredible performance. Are you not entertained? Unbelievable. There will be a new champion.
The college football playoff semifinals begin Thursday, January 8th, and continue Friday, January 9th.
Semifinals beginning tomorrow night. Verbo Fiesta Bowl, Miami and Ole Miss back in Nashville. 30-17 in this top 15 showdown. The Southeastern Conference and Mark Byington. It's a coach that really didn't skip any steps to get to this point in the SEC. A former Virginia Tech assistant, head coach at Georgia Southern, then at James Madison, and now at Vanderbilt. He has won everywhere along the way, including the former CAA Coach of the Year in Harrisonburg with the Dukes, and a couple of free throws off the mark for Vanderbilt. Damian Fishback, Roy Philpott, Crimson Tide have it. Poked out to Allen. Amari Allen. Bowen. Skip pass to Philon. That's a shot he's going to make 99 times, it feels like, out of 100.
Yeah, but that was terrific penetration, and that was really the first time that I've seen Vanderbilt broken down substantially defensively. You can't allow Alabama to get into the paint like that easily.
Outside to Harris. Off with a mid-range. Allen controls. Different Alabama team coming out of the timeout. And the bucket by Philon. Oh, the runner, it's down to 8.
You remember that flow that I was talking about? It's coming right now. So if you're the Commodores, you've got to continue to score to keep the Crimson Tide out of transition.
Philon already with 10 points tonight, Fish. He's got their last 7. Off glass, no. That was being off the mark after he missed a couple of free throws.
Well, Vandy's guards have 17 of the 30 points, and Alabama's turning it up defensively right now, particularly on their guards.
We talked about Byington at JMU. What do you know? He was the basketball coach there for those 5 seasons at the same time as Curt Cignetti, now the current head coach at Indiana, the undefeated top seed Hoosiers. And those two, from what we've been told, have learned a lot from each other going back to their time at James Madison, Fish.
Yeah, Mark said at first he would talk to me, man. We were, you know, together all the time, and then I finally got him to open up. He said he actually reached out to him to congratulate him on the success this year, and he said that, you know, he actually doesn't like compliments. That caught me off guard.
Not a surprise. Cignetti's got that glare you saw on that 4th down stop.
Right.
Apologies to all Alabama fans watching. You don't want to relive that one, but Indiana's been in the midst of an incredible run, and Cignetti has led that really insane turnaround. Indiana, we used to think of as a basketball school. Now, not so much. Second foul on Tyler Tanner.
And as you mentioned before, it doesn't take long for either team to crawl back into the game, and that's what we saw this time last year, actually, in Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa. It was a back-and-forth game down the stretch after Alabama got a big lead.
Tough shot for Duke Miles. That'll stop a 7-0 run.
He's a difference maker.
He's an entirely different player than what we saw last year at Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, listen, he had skills last year at Oklahoma, but he's just got more freedom here, I would say, and a bigger role.
Nickel was able to block the 3 by Jemison. And Vanderbilt gets it back.
And this is what you mean, right? Duke Miles, just ability to stop on the dime, kept that pivot foot down, and was able to use his size and to elevate over Latrell Wright. So I like that matchup at 6'2", 188 pounds. As we mentioned before, just one of 6 active players with 200+ career steals, and you can see what he does offensively.
Second foul on Bristow. 4 steals tonight for Duke Miles. Holloway checks back in for head coach Nate Oates. And the lead back to 9 with one more free throw for Vandy.
Right now, you can see the look in the eyes, though, for the Commodores. You can see the sense of desperation. It's almost like we're the last undefeated, but we're the lowest ranked in the AP poll amongst power conferences. We've knocked off SMU. What else do you want us to do?
Bo Bowen tries to save it, and he does with a timeout in midair. 34-24. Crimson Tide with it. We're back in 30 seconds in Music City. Ten-point lead for undefeated Vanderbilt. Back inside Memorial Gymnasium. Just told you about the upcoming Verbo Fiesta Bowl tomorrow. The SEC Network, the place to be. Starting at 3 o'clock Eastern, the Paul Feinbaum Show. Complete coverage continues at 6. SEC Nation and the game itself with the hometown radio broadcast. David Kellum on the call for the Rebels against Miami at 7:30. Then SEC football final after the game, completely covered all day tomorrow. Football returns.
So I can't tell you who it was. Former Alabama football great I was speaking with, and he said this playoff will boil down to 2 things, and it's the same thing that Alabama did for years. What do you think he said?
Blocking and tackling,
and
physicality.
And there it is. That's where Alabama was lacking this year, and we saw that in the Indiana game, and that's who will win between Ole Miss and Miami.
I think the Rebels are in a really good spot for that matchup. Jamison's going to shoot 2. And the foul hits Harris inside. No call on McLaughlin, actually. That'll be his first. Crimson Tide in the bonus here the rest of this half.
London Jamison, a #1 player out of the state of Connecticut. He was 8th in his position. Another 4-star recruit. It seems like all of them at Alabama are 4-star recruits. You can see Davion Hannah was 47. He was 43. Both top 50 recruits for Alabama.
Bo Bowen rips away the rebound, and it's off of Jamison out of bounds. Ironically, London chose the Crimson Tide over Louisville and Vanderbilt. The Commodores were involved in that recruitment. Crimson Tide led it early 3-1. Since then, all Vandy. Duke Miles. Well, that shot nearly hit the Raptors. It went so high.
Yeah, that was a heat check by Duke Miles. He earned that shot.
Jamison the other way. A blocking foul called and a chance for 3. Well, a shot of energy for number 6 in Crimson tonight.
And a shot to the face of Tyler Nichols. Wow. London Jamison just took off full speed. Whew. Let's take a look at it again. I agree with the call, though. It's certainly a block. He wasn't in legal guarding position. He was to the left of London Jamison, and that's the reason why with the Euro step, it was a blocking call. Good call that time by Brian Dorsey.
Yeah, no doubt. I was going to say Dorsey, Bart Lennox, Don Daly. Here tonight, McLaughlin off the miss.
Mark Byington on that interview with John Ralston, he said, we can't try to slow down or play the speed of Alabama. We have to be the best version of our own self. The Commodores have done that thus far in the first half.
Harris off the mark from distance. Jamison a monster step in traffic back to the line. Well, he takes that long stride.
Yeah.
Eats up a lot of real estate on the hardwood.
Well, he's a guy that was accustomed to scoring, averaged 15 and 4 in high school. But yeah, that long stride, the ability to stay focused on the basket. And the one thing that I'm seeing in this basketball game, and it's the differentiation of what we call national contenders or not, is there's just no rim protection. The biggest rim protection for Vanderbilt would be Jalen Washington, the guy who transferred from North Carolina, and Aiden Sherrill, who has not played for Alabama, is 7th in the nation in regards to blocks. So the immediate adjustment that needs to occur is that both teams need to attack the paint all night long. And
Sherrill was going to be a game-time decision tonight. He had the knee injury against Kentucky, didn't play in the second half of that matchup. A big deal so far on the floor this evening. Tanner the lob, McLaughlin. And it's stripped away. And tapped out of bounds back to Alabama.
I like the scrappiness, though, Roy. You know, we talk about not a lot of rim protection, but tremendous players on both sides. Watch these guys getting off after the floor. You can tell. Remember, this is the only time these two teams will play each other in the SEC this year. So there could be SEC championship implications even this early in conference play.
Only game number 2 in the league. On a top 15 showdown here in Nashville. Tied now on a burst. Jamison off the mark. Harris clears.
Man, A.K. Okereke has read LeBaron Philon his rights. That size is making it tough.
He does have the wide shoulders. Physical player. There's another steal by Bama. Open look, Reitzel. What the bounce! And don't look now, but a one-possession game under 4 to go in the half.
And that's why I said it's so important for the Commodores to score, because a broken defense against the Crimson Tide never works.
Up and in for Duke Miles. A little razzle-dazzle in traffic. Not sure how he got it to go. Though Pauls plays with 3:35 to go in the first half.
Duke Miles is back in action. Nice old school finger roll. And the Commodores, they're still up 4. It's really hard, Coach Greenberg, for 40 minutes, and the Crimson Tide come at you in waves, and they certainly hit the Commodores with a wave here recently, and it was, you know, on the defensive end. Let's see if Vandy can get back to defensively sitting down.
Allen inside, a nifty finish right at the rack. Back to a 2-point game. Vanderbilt once led by as many as 13. A fast start for Duke Miles, who has 17 points tonight. Back in the lineup for the first time in 3 games. Well, you can feel the Crimson Tide putting the clamps down on this end of the court a bit more these last 5 minutes. Case in point, Jamison clears. Phylon ahead. Jamison behind the back. Phylon for the lead. Fresh 20. Phylon again. Good that time.
Can't do it. The stop allows to the broken defense of the Commodores, which allows the offensive rebounding, which allows for more threes with a team who averages 13 per game in the Crimson Tide.
First time Alabama the lead since it was 3-1. Okereke, the fadeaway. Vanderbilt back in front.
You notice this run is occurring with Tyler Tanner since he's gotten that second foul, huge foul with Tyler Tanner. It looks like Mark Byington, though, deciding to keep him out for the duration of this first half.
Fish, how about the pace in this one? It has picked up considerably in the last 6 minutes for both sides. Deep three, no. And a rebound with a foul by Jamison over the back after being cleared it.
And Roy, the turn that we talked about defensively for Alabama, look at these active hands by LeBaron Phylon. You've got Bo Bourne, and then once you're off to the races defensively, Vanderbilt's trying to communicate. They don't know who they can pick up their guarding area. Once that basketball is passed out, now you're in closeout, and that's just too late with the plethora of three-point shooters that the Crimson Tide have. Vanderbilt has to continue to score, and they've got to sprint back defensively in transition.
Bing now 0 for 3 at the line. The foul is Jemison's first. (38-37). Two of the very best teams in the SEC. The end of non-conference play and now beginning league play. (39-37). There goes Phylon. Bethea off the bounce. Had a steal moments ago. Allen fell down, shot clock at 8. Reitzel a 3.
Excellent trip defensively by the Commodores.
There goes Duke Miles, the dump off. Bothered by Reitzel. There was contact. And a foul was called. Commodores in the double bonus. And the second foul on Phylon.
Devin McLaughlin led his team with 7 double-doubles last year. The senior at 6'8", 230, I think is the most underrated player in the SEC.
Don't forget ESPN Women's Basketball. Triple header headed your way on Sunday on ESPN. North Carolina, Notre Dame, and the ACC up first at 1 o'clock Eastern. Texas and LSU. Longhorns are still undefeated. And 2 of the stars you will see in that one, Hannah Hidalgo in that second matchup. The first one, rather, against UNC, and Madison Booker, SEC Player of the Year, Big 12 Player of the Year before Texas left the Big 12 to go into the Southeastern Conference.
Both Wooden Award candidates and well-deserved it. Get it done in different ways.
Duke and Stanford wrap up the triple header. Corner triple for Alabama, in and out. There's Phylon off the mark and another foul inside. This one goes against the Commodores. And Okereke the guilty party that time.
Well, give credit to Jalil Bethea, who is 6'5", 190 pounds, but is in there fighting against A.K. Okereke, who's 6'7", 245 pounds. So he's given up 55 pounds. But from Philadelphia, the transfer from Miami is getting rewarded for his battle.
8th game off the bench this season. Outstanding free throw shooter. And Bethea, former McDonald's All-American, ranked in the top 10 of the SC Next 100. Our good friend Paul Biancardi, the godfather of college basketball recruiting. See what he did last year with the U.
And he just let Paul Biancardi just start picking the draft. It's almost identical half the time.
I'm sure he could do that.
You know, this last 1 minute, I think, is even more critical for the Commodores than it is Alabama. The Commodores, and Tyler Tanner's back in the game offensively now. He needs to be cautious with those 2 fouls not to get an offensive foul. You see him number 3 in white. But for the Commodores, they need to continue to carry this momentum to keep this Memorial magic going into the second half. For Alabama, they fought their way back into the game.
Packed house, great energy. Vanderbilt undefeated this season, one of 6 teams left. All of college basketball without a blemish on the schedule. Okereke. Grown man basketball in the paint. Off the back iron.
Yeah, grown man, but too big to be fading away.
Inside to Allen, and we're tied at 41.
Elite. This Crimson Tide team is elite in transition.
Duke Miles, the jumper. Bo Bowen claims the board. Shot clock is off. So after all that's happened, Vanderbilt with a 13-point lead at one juncture, tied at 41. Alabama can steal the lead right before halftime.
Watch for a potential ghost screen.
There goes Allen against McLaughlin, and a strong finish. Well, Amari Allen, just a freshman, against the senior nickel. The response right before the buzzer. Back and forth we go in Music City.
Are you kidding me? Don't you dare change that channel. This is what we were expecting. This is the pace. An outstanding job of Tyler Nichols getting out and finishing both teams relentless here in the first half.
The pace, phenomenal. Miles with 17, Philon with 15. Let's get you to the studio. Halftime report, Kevin Connors. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Moments ago, greatest halftime show on the planet, Red Panda, concluding in perfect fashion. And what a perfect first 20 minutes we had. Now in the books, we are tied at 43. First top 15 showdown here at Memorial Gymnasium in 52 years.
Yeah.
Damian Fishback, Roy Philpott. All right, that was exciting. First half of this one.
Yeah, it was what we expected. It was a little slow start, but the pace picked up, and I expect it to continue to keep going in the second half.
First half highlights, it got started. The steal party. Duke Miles with 4 thefts in those first 20 minutes and 17 points.
Yeah, well, we talked about the fact that Vanderbilt's defense was so underrated. Second in the league in 39% field goal percentage defense, and third in turnovers forced. But even though LeBaron Fallon had a couple of turnovers, he picked it up quietly here in the second half of the first half and ended up with the quiet 15. Duke Miles with 17. But this is what concerns me. Alabama averages 10 turnovers per game, had 8 in the first half, and the game is still tied. The Commodores better pick it up quick here in the second half.
Undefeated Vanderbilt, Alabama at 11-3 this campaign. Their only losses, Purdue, Arizona, Gonzaga. Opportunities in all 3 of those matchups. It feels like a different team to begin league play. And the start of our second half, Bama has it first. 2 ties, 5 lead changes. As we get set for the final 20 in Nashville. Holloway was held in check after a burst to start. 3-pointer, no. Reitzel off the mark, and the rebound claimed by Okereke.
Don't know why Alabama didn't throw it to Bristow inside with Tyler Tanner, who's got 2 fouls on him. A huge size differential. Bristow at 6'10". Tyler Tanner only 6 feet.
Bristow with a double team. Miles got hit in the nose, and there's the whistle. Keaton Bristow picks up the foul. One question for you. We did not see Aiden Sherrill in the first half. He remains on the Alabama bench. How big of a deal has that been for the Tide to start tonight?
Gigantic. We talked about it a little bit. 7th in the nation in block shots. He gives them an inside presence. He completes the defensive rebounds for them. He can knock down an open 3. He's a huge piece, and that's why this performance by Alabama thus far is incredible.
Third foul on Bristow. Crimson Tide get it back off the Vandy turnover. Here's Amari Allen. And a pop in the face. And some words between Miles and Holloway.
Duke Miles got him a 2 for 1. That's why you heard the officials blow that whistle. There's 1 foul, and he says, if you're going to call it on me, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little extra, too.
You don't appreciate that as a player when that happens, do you?
No, you don't appreciate that.
It's just 1 personal foul. Allen somehow kept the pivot foot. Couldn't complete the finish. Okereke fell down. Miles picks it up. A lot of action right at the rack, and a whistle. Don Daly with a call baseline. The foul on Reitzel. Yeah,
officials letting them play, but look, these are 2 heavyweights in regards to being quality teams out of the SEC, but not 2 physical teams, if you will, which is why Alabama has struggled against those more physical, dominant teams, right? Purdue, Gonzaga, Arizona in that front line, Krivas and Koa Pete.
Impressive wins against St. John's and Illinois as well. It's an Alabama team that really hasn't been at full strength this entire season.
Sure.
Now 14 games into 2026. The runner and really the roll good from Tanner.
That looked a lot easier than it was. That quick step Euro, and then he put it up with the left off of the wrong leg. Impressive.
8 points now for Tyler Tanner. Vanderbilt back in front by 2. Off the switch.
Trying to post him up.
I was going to say, there's a steal by Tanner. 1-on-2 the other way. Poked away by Bo Bowen, out of bounds. It'll stay with Vandy.
Something that I love to see is when you have switches like that and you got teams that are good enough to recognize it, to have the patience, and then you have a player that's good enough to exemplify and show that patience as well. That's something Alabama's got to work on because they have some mismatches. A great job by Tyler Tanner, though.
And Nate Oates said today, how do we handle their pick and roll? What can we do defensively? All the different looks they'll give us. Nickel. Reitzel in the right place at the right time, grabs the board off the floor. And Reitzel fell down. I'm going to call a foul against the Commodores. Goes on Okereke. Well, I thought he may have just lost his balance entering the paint.
Sure. Well, let's take a look at it. Yeah, they're calling the trip because of A.K. Okereke's right foot. So the contact up top was fine, but once that right foot tripped up Latrell Reitzel, that's the reason why they called the foul. I think it was the correct call. I think the crowd's booing because they feel like there's been a lot more contact in this game that hasn't been called.
Starting to get a little chippy. Phylon left open, corner three, came up well short. And a foul against Allen. Now the defense for the Doors that time, impressive.
Yeah, they're picking it up, and you know, if you're the Commodores, you have to pick it up because your offense is going to excel, just like Alabama's offense would excel if you are able to score. But I would say that Vanderbilt's much better in the half court in their offensive execution.
Two of the top scoring teams in America. Tanner. Doors led by as many as 13 in our first half. Phylon back to work, a Euro, and a chance for three. Smooth operator, even with the contact, Fish.
Yeah, he's one of the best that you'll see in the SEC for sure, maybe in the country, at slowing down once he gets to the paint. He'll speed up to get to the paint, but once he gets there, he slows down, keeps his body and balance in a way that allows him to keep his focus on the basket and complete a lot of those finishes.
Phylon with 17 to match Duke Miles, now with 18. Nate Oates pleading his case. Bart Lennox coming back down the court.
Miscommunication offensively that time between Duke Miles and Tyler Tanner.
And Miles was tripped up. Jamison was there.
These two teams mirror one another quite a bit, Roy. You know, neither one of them really throw it to the block, even though I think both teams could go to the block a lot more, finding mismatches with their power forwards or even their wing players. But both of those guys, both of these teams, they get their body blows and free throws off of the bounce versus off of the pass, throwing it to the interior.
Tyler Nickel. 47-46.
If you're watching that at home, that's 6'7", 222 pounds moving like that. What makes him a dangerous shooter.
Super quick delivery. That could have been a foul on Millette. Cleared out Tanner, no whistle. Reitzel in the air forever to Jamison. Miles to Nickel. Okereke thought about it. Back to Duke Miles.
That's good offense, but Vanderbilt's not as good in that transition as Alabama is. And wow.
Second foul on McLaughlin.
Let's take a look at it. Yeah, that time London Jamison just losing his balance. And Don Daly's one of the best officials out there, but I felt like London Jamison just lost his balance that time. He was going down with or without Devin McLaughlin. Tough call.
It's been an interesting 2 days in the SEC. Late finish last night on the Plains at Auburn. It came down to the wire. Texas A&M found a way. After a replay review that was extended, they got it right. Missouri wanted Kentucky already earlier this evening. How about Texas A&M, a surprise in the conference at 2-0 in the league. Buckyball in College Station. Bowen well short. Holloway the stick back.
Big time offensive rebound. Right now, I think the Commodores, without that interior presence, this is what they got to do. Attack the basket, but go all the way to the basket. No reason to stop up and shoot that floater.
Millett for three. And a shove in the back. But Thea was sent out of bounds. His bags were packed and a foul called on Vandy.
Well, Tyler Nickel has shot 68% from three. I know Nate Oates doesn't like that, but Tyler Nickel says, give it to me. I'll shoot the mid-range. Commodores down one.
Broadway is buzzing, a one-point game here in Music City. Alabama leading Vanderbilt 48-47. You hear the music, you know what it means. The college football playoff semifinals headed your way. Starting tomorrow night, Miami and Ole Miss up first for both Fiesta Bowl. Then on Friday, Oregon and top seed Indiana looking for those national championship spots out of the timeout. Long ball connected, 51-47. Here comes Alabama all of a sudden with a 4-point lead.
Excellent play out of the timeout by Coach Nate Oates.
Holloway now in double figures with 10, and it didn't take long.
Yeah, the most dangerous person is the inbounder, and it's a double screen by Jamison and Noah Williams. And wow, what an excellent drawn-up play by Coach Nate Oates, and Aiden Holloway executes it to perfection.
Nate Oates had some interesting comments yesterday concerning Vanderbilt and where it sits currently in the grand scheme of things. Okay. Oh, and a chance for three.
Big fella.
Put those comments on the shelf for a moment. Okereke cleared for liftoff.
Right? You know, I love the job that he kind of fake, just a little shimmy to the left, and then one bounce and attack the rim. We just said there's no real rim protection on the floor tonight. For other young players out there, if you don't have a big guy blocking shots, go to the basket to finish with authority.
51-50. 3 ties, 9 lead changes. Vanderbilt 24 points in the paint tonight. Taking advantage of no Aiden Cherrell. Holloway, the spin. How nasty was that? They'll swing it around. Bethea. Bowen. Tracked down by Allen.
And the reason why they got the offensive rebound was because of the movement of the basketball. And so people don't understand when you play selfish and take that first shot, not only do you not get as good as looks, but it also prohibits you from getting good offensive rebounding lanes. That was a prime example of Alabama moving the defense and getting rewarded by getting the offensive glass.
Fish, Tyler Nickel just picked up his 3rd foul. Miles has 3. Okereke has 3. Keep an eye on that. A lot of basketball in front of us here in Nashville. Open 3 and an offensive foul, but Thea off the mark. Mark Byington was screaming for that whistle for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, Don Daly
finally got it.
He kind of looked. Don Daly kind of looked at him like, "I got you, Mark. I got you." Taylor Bowen was moving on that screen and kept A.K. Okereke from getting around.
You surprised with the physicality that we've seen so far tonight? These 2 explosive teams that scored among the best in America.
Yeah, I mean, it's more speed than it is size, physicality. These 2 teams kind of middleweight physicality. Not too concerned. That's why the officials are letting them play.
Don Daly over here to the scorer's table. And they're going to double check to see if there was a hook and hold on the screen by Bowen. And you see they got tangled up arm to arm up top. And a game with wild momentum swings and big plays on both sides. This potentially could be significant.
Absolutely, right? Because if Nate Oates is able to win this challenge, then he'll keep his 3 timeouts. If not, in a game like this, an additional timeout could come into play and be crucial for him and his team.
You saw Okereke with the grab right near the elbow on the turn.
I actually think this is an interesting call because if it is reversed, right, then you think about A.K. Okereke and the foul trouble that the Commodores are already in. This could be a huge play.
So after the challenge, the foul is removed from Bowen.
After review, the foul call on 7 red will be taken away, and we have a hook and hold foul on 10 white. Red 7 will shoot 2 free throws and then red ball.
Significant indeed.
You know, it's the hook and hold is the correct call, but Taylor Bowen was also moving on that screen. It's tough to wear those stripes because it is no doubt he pulls A.K. Okereke, he pulls down the arm of Taylor Bowen, but there's also no doubt that number 7 in crimson was moving on that foul.
Outstanding free throw shooter. He'll get one more. Bama gets possession after this. And he just threw it back up there. He threw it back up there. I can't say that I've seen that before. It's just one attempt. He does get the one more. (52-50) Alabama basketball. And the foul starting to mount up, and Okereke now with 4 fouls after that sequence. Nickel with 3 and Miles with 3 too.
And this is what we were talking about. With 14:30 left to go, you have to be majestic on that sideline. If you're Mark Byington, maybe you go zone a little bit. You got to try to do something to have your best players in the game, but keep them out of foul trouble.
Allen, the freshman, tried to split the double team, rejected away. Washington was ready and waiting.
Jalen Washington coming in, him and his running mate, Tyler Nickel, they actually both played at North Carolina their freshman season.
Allen starting to get physical over Nickel.
Tough.
Tide lead it by 4. I wonder, is it Tyler Tanner time? There's Tyler Harris. He struggled tonight in terms of the shot. 0 for 5. He'll shoot 2 here.
When we were speaking at the shoot-around today, we talked about this young freshman, Amari Allen, and amongst other freshmen in the SEC that probably aren't talked about enough. Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, Nate Ament still trying to find his way at Tennessee. But we also talked about the depth on both of these teams and how both of them had depth, but they didn't have proven depth thus far tonight. Well, the depth of the Vanderbilt Commodores is going to be tested with all the foul trouble that they have.
Mark Byington told us too, he needs a little bit more from Tyler Harris. Outstanding three-point shooter. Going back to his time in the Big Ten at Washington. Has yet to connect on a shot today. You see his time in the WCC as well. Not a point so far tonight.
Well, he brings a different element. He brings a different element of athleticism. You know, he actually shot 49% from 3. So even though the shot doesn't look traditional, he can knock down a three-point shot. Hadn't shot it great this year. And so these are great opportunities early in conference play for all of these players.
He went 0 for 2. Washington grabbed the rebound. And then Bol Bowen picked up his 3rd foul. So Allen's got 3. Tyler Bol Bowen has 3. And the Commodores just 12 of 20 at the stripe tonight. That's been a bit of an issue. Washington bangs home the first.
What we have not seen from either coach is a defensive chess move yet. And both teams can play some zone. They can mix it up. We just haven't seen either one of those coaches go to it yet.
Mark Byington describes himself as a basketball nerd. We asked him, what's the nerdiest thing about you earlier today? And he said, well, we went back and we reviewed all the ball screen coverage for our bigs, for Alabama's bigs, to see who did what. And we never stop studying the game, learning about the game. It's each and every day. And the Commodores outstanding defensively on this possession again. They'll get it back. Are you a basketball nerd?
I thought that was interesting. I wouldn't put nerd beside my name in regards to any subject, but I do love the game. I would say this. I think that Mark Byington and Nate Oates have the analytics in common. They both love the game. They both look at numbers heavily, and they both got a chip on their shoulder, right? People forget. He came to the SEC, yeah, he took Vanderbilt to the NCAA tournament his first year, but Mark Byington won 32 games at James Madison. Like, these are made men that have come to the SEC and have really claimed their stake early in their careers.
And it feels like Byington's just getting warmed up. We've seen what Nate Oates can do. Crimson Tide already with 9 fouls in this half. They'll be shooting the double bonus the rest of the way. Holloway just picked up his 3rd. And one more free throw for Tyler Tanner to try to tie it up.
Yeah, so obviously Bama's got more fouls. It's just the problem with the Commodores is who the fouls are on, right? You've got Tyler Nickel that's got 3 fouls. A.K.O. Cherokee with 4. Duke Miles with 3. So their main players have more fouls, and I think what it's saying is a little less depth for the Commodores.
Holloway on Tanner. Holloway throws it up and in. How did he do that? Falling out of bounds. 2 right over the top of 3. Bowen on Miles. Wild shot. And the rebound claimed by Jemison. Tied with a 2-point lead in possession. Aiden Holloway perhaps entering takeover mode here. Let's see. Right side of the paint. Not this time. Tanner the other way. Didn't take long.
Pretty. If you're the Commodores, that's how you get back into this game.
Miles, the effort, the hustle. And look at the enthusiasm, Fish.
Give credit to this fan base. They have showed up for this game. And Tyler Tanner, I'll put him up against anybody in college basketball from inline to inline, 94 feet with the ball in his hand. He is so expeditious. He gets down quick, fast, and in a hurry. Big shot by Tyler Tanner.
That play happened so fast. Miles with the hustle, forcing another Bama turnover. Commodores get it back. Tied at 56. McLaughlin getting down and dirty.
You know, as a boxer, when you're in a fight and you find a right cross or a jab or a hook that starts to work, this is the hook for the Commodores. We've been saying it the entire game. There is no rim protection. And so for Devin McLaughlin at 6'8", he's got plenty of size to actually dominate the paint area on the interior. They just got to go to him more.
10 paint points to start the second half for Vandy. McLaughlin with 6, 7 points of rebounds. Make it 7 and 7.
I hear you. Kids are jumping around at home right now, going crazy.
Memorial Gymnasium springs back to life again. Doors by 3. Allen hammered on the attack. Well, you watch Allen, so poised, and at times he doesn't look like a freshman. The physique and the skill set certainly indicate that as well. Shoot 2.
Well, you got to think about some of the numbers that he put up, right? The man averaged 34 points, close to 12 rebounds, and over 8 assists his senior year. Those are real numbers.
9 points, 8 boards tonight, 3 assists for 5 in crimson. Mari Allen, a 4-star prospect, former Wisconsin Gatorade Player of the Year. Those numbers that Fish gave you. And the lead down to 1. Game of the night in college basketball. It has lived up to the billing. Trapping pressure for the Tide, and a foul on Bristow. That'll be his 4th. Commodores in a double bonus here the rest of the way.
Sure. And one thing that I love is with the challenge, as much as coaches get on officials, you could do something about it. You could challenge now, right? Back in the day, you could complain, you could do whatever. No, you want to use one of those timeouts, go for it. I love that being added to the game.
I think all of us do. It's been nice as well to not see so many reviews in terms of the basketball going out of bounds. Both teams dealing with foul issues at this juncture. Williamson and now Bristow with 4.
Sure. And that's what I mean when I say depth's going to come into play here. Someone that maybe we're not anticipating is going to have to make a big shot.
Vandy by 3. Tonight for Duke Miles, his first points of the second half. Off the pump fake. Reitzel no. McLaughlin fell down and was fouled. Oh, Jemison can't believe it. He'll plead his case to no avail. 4 fouls on London Jemison. The lead is 3 in a raucous Memorial Gymnasium here in Nashville. Packed house in Music City. The lead is 3 for undefeated Vanderbilt, ranked 11th in the country over 13th ranked Alabama. And already Iowa State, an impressive win in Waco earlier tonight. Arizona has got a double-digit lead in the second half against Kansas State. Vanderbilt hoping to follow suit.
Yeah, how about Nebraska, Fred Hoiberg? You know, you think about they play the game the right way, probably still not getting as much credit as they deserve. But back in the top 10 now, first time they've been in the top 10 since 1966, but had a chance to watch them play. And, you know, you think about the ball moves correctly. They make the right decisions, don't celebrate too much, but not as fast as these Commodores or the Crimson Tide. That's what I love about college basketball, the difference in styles.
Similar styles tonight. The lead at 4. Holloway hung in the air forever and found a way.
Tough. My goodness, has he taken strides.
Holloway with 14, coming off back-to-back 26-point outbursts. Big win against Kentucky in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. Duke Miles, right knee appears to be just fine tonight. Into the contact and no whistle. Reitzel tracks it down.
It's like a pickup game, man. A bunch of guards out here.
Who wants it next? Holloway again. Triple team. Jamison rejected at the rack. A hard foul. Washington came crashing in.
Well, we just mentioned the ability to attack the basket, and he makes a pass. Aiden Holloway at the last minute. London Jamison, that's how you attack the basket. And give credit, though, Jalen Washington not allowing an easy layup either.
And they called the foul on Duke Miles. That is his fourth. It was Miles and Washington in a meeting right at the rim. So 19 will have to sit on the bench. Number 2, Duke Miles. 17 in the first half, just 2 so far in the second. And it's Jamison at the stripe. Hasn't been pretty at times tonight in terms of the free throw shooting.
No, it hasn't, but you know, we're still getting into conference play. Listen, and you see Vanderbilt's foul trouble just continues to add up, right? We talk about critical pieces, foundational pieces for the Commodores.
Glockton slams the rebound. He's got 8 points and 9 boards. Lead at 2. Last win for Vanderbilt in this series back in 2022. And Nickel has not found the range so far.
No, he's one of those shooters. We talked about him, what he's done in his last 3 games. You don't allow him to get going.
Bol Bowen outside. Over the backboard, another board for Devin McGlockton. Stuck at 62-60 until now. Jalen Washington. Holloway.
What an excellent pass by Tyler Tanner. Good hesitation, and then sees it out of the corner of his right eye and throws it up to Jalen Washington. There's no help on that weak side. You saw Aiden Holloway. He had to hug Tyler Nickel because he's shooting close to 50% from the three-point line. But as soon as he scored, how quickly did Alabama and Aiden Holloway get back down on the other end?
It's a 4th foul on McGlockton. Seems like half of Vanderbilt's roster now has 4 personal fouls.
You talked about the free throws. Does that count as an announcer's jinx? You said it a couple of minutes ago.
Brad Fraschilla last night had the all-time announcer jinx I've ever heard. That didn't happen.
In the Kansas game.
It was amazing. Shooters fouled from 3-point range, down 3 with 2 seconds left. Brad's like, there's no way he's missing these free throws. And he made all 3 of the talented freshmen for the Jayhawks. It's a wild sequence at the fall.
How about the Commodores coming back up 3 now, in spite of the foul trouble?
Tyler Tanner left open. Tanner connects. That's a 3. And the kiss. 67-61. A little separation. Reitzel. Williamson clears. Reitzel again. A basket here in this place is going to erupt. And a foul the other way after the bucket by Tanner.
Roy, we talked about the quick first step of Tyler Tanner, and this is him moving from sideline to sideline instead of inline to inline. The Commodores do that as well as anyone in their half court, and he blows a kiss to the crowd. And then this is that first step, and that time, if you're Noah Williamson, you've got to use your 7-foot, 255 frame to get over there quicker and contest.
The foul, Williamson has to check out. Nickel has 4 fouls. And 1 more for Allen. You talked about Tyler Tanner in our first half, Fish. You called him the most improved player in the SEC. You look at his numbers from a year ago. He averaged just over 5 points. Now he's looking at over 16 per game. He's coming off a contest where he had 14 assists. That tied a school record here at Vanderbilt. The great Billy McCaffrey. He may be one of the most improved players in America. Talking about Tyler Tanner.
I would agree. And his three-point shot, right? Up 15 to 20%.
Bing slaps it out of bounds. It'll stay with Bama.
Once again, though, remember what Seth said early in the first half? Seth Greenberg said, but you got to do it for 40 minutes. So right now, the Commodores are doing what Mark Byington said. They are playing the best version of themselves in spite of the foul trouble. Can they finish and close that the last 8 minutes and 53 seconds?
Cold shooting half so far for Alabama, trailing by 6. Holloway left open. Not that time. Ripped away, Bethea. Saved by the Tide in a scrum. The jump ball, the arrow favors Vanderbilt.
This is January. They understand, though, the importance of this game. These two teams will only play once during the SEC conference play. As a result, if you're fighting for an SEC title, it could come down to this game, and I think both coaches realize it.
Bama just 6 of 30 from downtown tonight. And this season, in terms of three-point makes, it's 13 per game, and Nate Oates just got teed up. Nate Oates is on a tirade. Tanner at the line. After the technical on Nate Oates. Another big moment in the half. Tyler Tanner with 17 points tonight. Perfect at the line.
Probably as exasperated or irate that I've seen Coach Nate Oates.
And Fish, you watch that last possession. Nate Oates was following Bart Lennox down the court after being inbounded it.
Oh, it was whatever he said last. It was that walk away, whatever that last little quote was by Coach Nate Oates before he walked away from Bart Lennox. You could tell the body language. That was all Bart was going to take. And he could be trying to motivate his team. Let's see how Alabama responds.
Outside to James. That's a three. Fresh off the bench, Newbern zero connects from downtown. Unexpected offense. And the other way, Jemison on the attack. 74-65.
Yeah, Amari Allen not playing like a freshman. Long, got into the teeth of the defense. You called it. That was a great answer that time, Roy.
Harris no good. Bristow the board. Yeah, Jemison went to the bench. Allen on the floor. Nearly a chance for three.
You know
7:46 to go.
We promised a game. The transfer from Louisville, Mike James, wants to get on the action right now. Who? Mike James. Vanderbilt up 9.
74-65, 7:46 to go. Back in Nashville, Damian Fishback, Roy Philpott. Don't forget, SportsCenter coming up as soon as we are done inside Memorial Gymnasium. 3 top 5 teams in action. Arizona and Iowa State trying to remain undefeated. Bowl reports and updates from the Fiesta and Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, all coming up in the next 48 hours. And Shams Charania joins the show. The big news, Ice Trae on the move. He'll tell you all about that as the Hawks agreed to trade Trae Young. Murray Allen, one more free throw. Had that last bucket. And now the last 4 for the Crimson Tide in comeback mode. You know, Nate Oates reminded us, you're down 10, you're down 12. Game like this, doesn't matter how much time is left, you've got a chance. And Mark Byington thought the same thing. The pace, the offense, the ability to score the basketball, a big factor. Tanner wide open. He's got 21.
Another outstanding set that time by Mark Byington. Great spacing to allow Tyler Tanner to use his speed off of that screen to get downhill.
Out of bounds and a turnover. Millette touched it. His foot on the inline.
Right now, there's not a lot of pressure on either team. 7 minutes is still a ton of time, in particular with the way that both of these teams play. But as Latrell Wrightsell comes in this basketball game, we talked about how much of a critical piece he is. My question is, what's been going on in regards to LeBaron Philon? He really hasn't, you know, gotten back, and he's not even in the game right now.
Philon, 15 points in the first half. 3 in the second. Not on the floor. Here's Harris, the step back. Lib remains on tight for him, and a foul on the floor. And against the Crimson Tide, Vanderbilt in the double bonus.
We talked about the free throws on the night. Huge free throw opportunity for the Commodores.
And Fish, I'm looking down on the Alabama bench, and no initial sign of LeBaron Philon. Didn't see anything that looked to be injury related the last time we saw him on the floor. Trailing by 10, Allen. The contact from Washington. This game has turned out to be at times in the second half a free throw shooting contest.
Well, I'm going to tell you, as equally as important as everything we've talked about, I would love to know why LeBaron Philon is not even on the bench, because without LeBaron Philon in this basketball game, you talk about a huge challenge, an uphill battle. Now, Aiden Holloway has been sensational at the point guard position. They have incredible depth in regards to guard play. Latrell Wrightsell, Houston Mallett, who just went out, Houston Millette, and then you've got London Jamison, who's just coming in the game as well.
Big free throws here for the freshman Amari Allen. Now with 18 points, he has stepped up his play this evening. 12 in the second half. Commodores back to work, trying to stay undefeated. Tanner to Harris. Big shot for number 8. First of the night, his first points, and they were enormous.
One thing that's so critical about Mark Byington, in a 30-second shot clock, he makes you guard multiple sets. Look how far Latrell Wrightsell has to come out for that three-point shot. And we talked about the fact that Harris shot over 49% at Washington from the 3 last year. It's set after set. So I noticed a lot of coaches in college basketball went away from running plays or quick hitters, if you will. But at the end of the day, Mark Byington's showing you can run one ball screen, you can run another couple of screens. That 30-second shot clock is still plenty of time to work the defense.
And Fish, we have confirmed Philon is in the Alabama locker room and waiting on additional information and an update on his status. That becomes very big down the stretch. Bobo on the FSU transfer. One more free throw.
You're talking about a first-round draft pick that's not in the basketball game right now. And for the Commodores, you need to take advantage. You might be looking at a first-round draft pick right here.
Tanner to Harris again. That would have done a world of good for his confidence, and a foul on Vandy.
Tyler Tanner made the right play, though. And this is the second time that we've seen Latrell Wrightsell get up a little slow.
Bo Bowen also still on the deck right in front of us, and Nate Oates walks over to him. I mean, it's been that kind of game. It's been supremely physical. We've talked about all the free throws. There's been a lot of contact around the rack. Two teams where a game like this means so much. Their only meeting of the regular season. Top two teams ranked by the Associated Press in the top 25 in the conference right now. And 2 free throws for Latrell Wrightsell. About the year that Georgia's having, ranked number 18.
Yeah, it came up short on the road at Florida with Sumto Surreal. Went out 10 minutes into the game, but still having a great season. But you know, you see these 5 teams that are in the AP top 25, but a lot of the talking heads that say the SEC's down are not maybe what it used to be. Let's look at the numbers. Top-ranked conference in KenPom. There's currently 10 teams projected to go in the NCAA tournament with Joe Renardi. Toughest non-conference schedule according to net rankings. From top to bottom, it's the only major conference that has all 16 teams in the top 100. It is still a very deep and competitive conference, and we're seeing it tonight.
Tanner, no. McLaughlin, yes. Devin McLaughlin, another double-double. 82-73, under 6 minutes to go. Holloway. That's Jamison. Off the mark from downtown. Boy, the toughness of McLaughlin and what he's brought to the table in this second half. Underrated once again.
And LeBaron Philon is back on the bench now. Wow. Devin McLaughlin trying to keep his feet.
Tanner was fouled.
For anybody who was questioning whether the Vanderbilt Commodores deserved their top 11 ranking, that was questioning whether their wins over VCU and St. Mary's and Central Florida and SMU were good wins. I think if you watch this game tonight, you can see that the Commodores are certainly a team that you don't want to face come March.
Bristow fouls out. Tyler Tanner tonight, 21 points, 7 dimes. You know, Mark Byington talking to his team earlier today at shoot-around, he said, we've earned the right to be here. We've earned the right to have a big moment like this, to have a game like tonight in front of this crowd. Students are back, and to show America what they're capable of, and they have done all of that and then some. And Fish, you win a game like this score holds. A statement is sent. Vanderbilt not only legit for real, but a contender for a lot of things this season.
Yeah, I would agree. And regardless of the outcome, I've seen enough to know that the Commodores are for real.
Holloway. Jamison, no. And Allen on the 3rd try. Ultra aggressive in the air. And he was hacked.
And Amari Allen is 6'8", and he's only 205 pounds. Gatorade Player of the Year in Wisconsin. But, man, I'm telling you, he is wiry strong. He doesn't back down from physicality. He's got a nice motor. He's extremely versatile. He is a huge piece for this Alabama team.
Alabama now has attempted 33 free throws in this game. Vanderbilt 35. .70 combined free throws. And now Allen has tied his career high with 20.
And Roy, I was mistaken. LeBaron Fallon's still not on the bench, actually.
Tanner on a string. Ripped away by Bo Bowen.
It's when they're dangerous.
Holloway. Tried to spin it in, couldn't do it. No whistle that time.
And I think it was a good no call. He was looking for contact. The push-off wasn't enough to call an offensive foul. I think it was a good no call.
Approaching 4 to play. Duke Miles back on the floor. Tyler Tanner wide open. An opening again for the Crimson Tide. Holloway, relentless. And a shove and a foul. And if that's Duke Miles, that is number 5, and it is. 84-75. Duke Miles, his evening comes to a close for the Commodores with the lead. .356 to go back in Nashville. 84-75. Vanderbilt leading Alabama. Don't forget, men's college basketball continues on Saturday. 4-pack of games featuring 4 teams. Check it, 5 ranked in the top 25. Tennessee, Florida, SMU, Duke, Arizona, TCU, Arkansas, and Auburn. That's Saturday on ESPN. Darius Acup Jr., one of the top freshmen in the land. 29 points in the victory over Tennessee this weekend. And a chance, honestly, Fish, he could be the top player in the SEC by the time it's all said and done. Meanwhile, LeBaron Philon, the last time we saw him on the court just over 16 minutes ago here in the second half. And since then, he has not been on the Crimson Tide bench.
Yeah, that's a story that we'll have to find out whenever Coach Nate Oates and his staff allows us to know. But right now, the Crimson Tide are down 9 on the road in a hostile environment against the top 11 team in the nation in the Vanderbilt Commodores. And the Commodores are not allowing their foot off of the gas pedal either.
Off the missed free throw, Holloway threw it back at the rim again. It's the second time tonight that's happened. The first time it was with Bol Bowen. And I imagine that there was a warning after Bol Bowen did it the first time. And as a result, Vanderbilt's going to get a free throw on the delay of game.
That's the second delay on Alabama. It'll be a delay technical foul. One shot for White, and we'll finish with Red shooting. It's one shot.
Don Daly, of course, spot on. Thank you, Don. Spot on, and that's just a lack of attention to detail and focus.
Fish, in your mind, how big of a difference has it been without LeBaron Philon for the duration of this second half? The last time we saw him, 16:04 to go.
Well, you can have a nice car with beautiful wheels and an engine and transmission, but if you don't have a steering wheel, that car's not going anywhere. And right now, Alabama, since he's left the game, have been trying to drive their Crimson Tide vehicle without their steering wheel. He's a huge miss.
Lead back to 10. Holloway missed it. Okereke claims a rebound.
Aiden Holloway frustrated with himself. Right now they've got to gain their composure. We'll see what kind of leadership the Crimson Tide have here on the road.
Now it's Nickel. With the finish.
Tough. Like his swag.
He's got 10. Holloway the other direction. Here's Bethea. With the three, in and out. Okereke claims another board. And Philon back on the bench, flexing both of those knees. Crimson Tide without a buck in the last 4+. $87-75. Last Alabama advantage came at 56-54. And Tanner to shoot 2 more.
Hey, if your game plan defensively is to try to have one man stay in front of Tyler Tanner, you really have your work cut out. I mean, my goodness, he changes speeds really good. He changes directions well also, but he can go from 0 to 100 so quick.
Tanner with 24.
Shows you the value of recruiting your home, Brentwood, Tennessee, and obviously started here under Jerry Stackhouse, who is now with the Golden State Warriors, but Mark Byington had to re-recruit him, and he had to sell him on staying at Vanderbilt. One of the best re-recruiting jobs he's ever done.
0-2 at the line. Opening again for Alabama. Holloway, patient, delivers.
Big shot. Alabama showed some press down the stretch in that Arizona game. Not seeing much here. Going to decide to play straight up. There's a little bit of pressure.
Stuck in the backcourt is Tanner. And a 10-second violation.
Nice. Impressive. Ball was still in the air. And you can see the shot clock was down to 20. So that is a 10-second violation. Have to be established across that half-court line, and you can see the shot clock in your bottom left. And right there, that's where you got to make yourself available, and Tyler Tanner just not quite realizing where the clock was.
Reitzel, Jamison, quick trigger. Tanner grabs a rebound.
Chest move that time by Nate Oates, and then vice versa for Mark Byington, who went to his zone on that trip defensively.
Story of this game, Alabama, no LeBaron Philon the last 14 minutes. And the lack of threes, 7 of 35 from downtown tonight. And another foul. Well, the pace of this game, I mean, it really has come to a screeching halt with all the fouls, all the free throws. And both teams on the verge of setting new season highs in that charity stripe department.
And I don't think they did call a foul. I think Bart Lennox said his hands were straight up. He kept his line of verticality.
Emma gets it back. They'll call one this time. A.K. Okereke just fouled out.
Tell you what, the composure that has been shown, the perseverance, and the ability to handle their emotions by the Commodores has really been impressive to me. They've been in foul trouble what seems like a little bit longer than Alabama, but they were able to weather the storm and have now got themselves in a good position, 3-possession game, to try to close this victory out.
Mike James back on the floor. 2 free throws for Amari Allen. Already has tied his career high with 20. Set that mark originally against Clemson. Now a new high of 21. You can only imagine what's in front of him the rest of his career, the rest of this season.
Sure. Let's see if Alabama comes up with their pressure again. Vanderbilt struggled against the pressure of Memphis on the road earlier this year. It took them an overtime to come out with that victory.
Lead down to 7. Nickel breaks the pressure easily. Attacking.
And that's exactly what you need to do. When you see pressure, you attack it under control. And that's what you expect from the veteran and Tyler Nickel.
Now Nickel started his career North Carolina, Virginia Tech, 2 stops in the ACC. He has become a premium sharpshooter now in the SEC. And Vanderbilt hoping to improve to 15-0 tonight. It's the best start in a long time for this program. Second year under Mark Byington, projected 11th in the SEC in the preseason poll, and still undefeated. Go back to 2008, and the runner for Holloway.
This is still a good basketball game. Vanderbilt's going to have to help Alabama. They got to take care of the basketball.
Off the turnover, Holloway. Oh, that would have been enormous. Over the backboard. He was fading away from that corner.
Yeah, he went for it. I like the play. Now, if you're the Commodores here, and Bart Lennox was telling Tyler Nickel it's a spot throw in, he can't run the baseline.
The pitch we saw last night, Texas A&M scored 11 points in 28 seconds. The comeback by Kansas against TCU. It's been that kind of year in college basketball.
Give credit to these fans, though. This is a later game, Wednesday night, and they have not gone anywhere. As I say that, a few fans behind us get up.
SEC After Dark. Vanderbilt tonight, the most free throws attempted under Mark Byington's direction. And Tanner 1 point away from tying his career high. And Fish, you feel like he's really starting to announce himself on a grander scale his sophomore season here. Reitzel, outstanding pump fake, and the three. All net, 91-85, timeout Nate Oates. Two-possession game, 67 seconds remaining in Music City as we step aside. They're going crazy at Memorial Gymnasium. A 6-point lead for Vanderbilt, trying to remain undefeated. No LeBaron Philon for the majority of this second half. In the story emerging, now tying his career high, Tyler Tanner with 26 points.
Well, I love all of these highlights showing his elite speed. He gets to where he wants to go, when he wants to go there, how he wants to go. Got a lot more grit and toughness than he gets credit for. And how about this? Joins former Doors, Darius Garland, John Jenkins, and Derek Breyer as the Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year winners. A nice job of keeping your home talent right here at Vanderbilt.
And from right up the road in Brentwood, Tennessee, Tyler Tanner. Bama still with an opportunity. Close within 6. Washington races across the floor, and the foul by Millette. Now Jalen Washington, shade under 80% at the line for the North Carolina transfer. Both teams in a double bonus, so he's shooting 2.
Yeah, not an easy comeback. I see that the Crimson Tide are deciding to foul early. Vanderbilt shoots 77% as a team from the line, so a lot harder to find guys that miss free throws.
81 free throws attempted in this game tonight, Fish, between the two teams.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, the game was a lot more loosely called early, and then as it got more physical, the officials had to tighten it up a little bit, and the players just didn't really respond. And Devin McGlockton It's like he may be catching a cramp too. He kind of checks himself out. He's like, I need to get out, coach. I'm cramping.
Grabbing that right hamstring. Do you need a three here?
Just need to score quick.
Outside to Holloway. Picked up by Tanner. And Holloway waving his way under the rack. Lead back to 6. And Mark Byington going to call a timeout. Trailing by 6. We're back in Nashville in 30 seconds. .50 seconds to go. 93-87. Vanderbilt basketball. Commodores have been in front since it was 54-50. Bama rallied a 2-point advantage. Sports Center coming up as soon as we're done here. And credit Mark Byington's team for keeping Alabama at arm's length. Need more questions about LeBaron Philon after this one. It was good to see him back on the bench just moments ago for the first time. Tanner double teamed. Able to break it.
You know, oftentimes when you talk about college basketball, they say unless you run into a one-man press breaker. That's what you just witnessed right there. You almost had every single player on the Crimson Tide trying to corral him. He caught the basketball in a difficult place, but he doesn't really get rattled.
9 of 11 at the line tonight. Tyler Tanner, the new career high. Meanwhile, Duke Miles had 17 points in the first half. He fouled out about an hour ago in real time. All smiles. His team on the verge of remaining undefeated. And Fish, if they end up winning their next game against LSU here in Nashville this weekend, you would expect a surge in the top 25 next week. This Vanderbilt program. Allen, that's a deep triple. 94-90, 35 seconds to go. And Allen appears to be banged up. When Bing really didn't give him a clear path to be able to land.
Oh, wow.
And that left ankle just gave way.
Well, he slipped. He slipped with that left ankle, and that's why he grabbed kind of his left groin. Seen a couple of guys slip tonight. And there, you can see former SEC legend out there getting Commodores faithful to clean up some of those sweat spots by their huddle.
This game is still there for the taking. 35.8 seconds to go, and Allen made that three, fell down once, make it twice after Tanner went 1 of 2 at the stripe.
Wow.
Well, a lot of bumps and bruises coming out of this one.
Well, you got to keep those floors dry.
All right, what's the strategy here now? Remember, banding the double bonus. You're running out of time, but you are chipping away at that lead.
Yeah, you want to keep the pressure on the Commodores and hope that you can break them. For me, the one thing that I have not seen Alabama do is really keep the basketball out of Tyler Tanner's hand. And Mark Byington's done a great job of getting him to the ball. And we just talked about how quick he was, how fast he is. I would probably get 2 guys on, and it looks like that's what they're trying to do to get Bobo in the shadow. And he still gets it.
Tyler Nickel gets it right back. More trapping pressure.
Good timeout.
Yep. Mark Byington was right in the ear of Don Daly. And the timeout was called. And that was starting to get a little antsy.
So now with 28 seconds left in this basketball game. I don't think you can wait. It's a two-possession game. As soon as the basketball comes in, if you're the Crimson Tide, you got to foul. You don't even really have time for a trap. I mean, if you get a good trap, potentially, right? But now they're running out of time, and that's what Mark Byington realized in calling that timeout.
It's 94-90, but it's been a high-scoring rock fight with all the fouls and free throws, hasn't it?
Great analogy. Yeah, it has been a high-scoring rock fight.
And for two teams that like to go up and down, back and forth, shoot the three, run incredible offense. For Nate Oates, it's threes, get right to the rim. For Mark Byington, he's known as one of the bright up-and-coming offensive minds of the game. Really done it at the charity stripe more than any place else. And Vanderbilt approaching its best start in school history. Still with work to do. And Tanner went on a slide. Murphy just checked in for the first time.
Tell you what, he opened up some eyes all year long, and you hope LeBaron Feiland's okay, but I would have loved to have seen him and LeBaron Feiland continue to go at it, because he's one of the best guards in the SEC for sure.
.28 points for Tyler Tanner. Feiland on the bench. You can feel his frustration courtside.
Well, part of Alabama's problem has been injuries, right? Latrell Wrightsell coming back from an injury. We talked about the fact that Taylor Bowen was out last game. Bristow in and out. Aiden Sherrill not in the game tonight. And so we've yet to see their full potential because they haven't been a complete team.
Deep three, no good. Thea off the mark, and the rebound by Bing. 22.6 seconds to go.
Coming into this game, we said that Nate Oates and Alabama had won more games than any other team since he's been in the SEC. Overall and SEC games. They have been the measuring stick, if you will, tonight. Amari Allen fouls out for Alabama, but without question, the Vanderbilt Commodores have proven they are worthy of their ranking, and I think an even higher ranking.
A statement win potentially tonight. One of 6 remaining undefeated teams in America. And on the verge of improving to 2-0 in the SEC. An afterthought in the preseason poll. Bing missed a pair. Still an opening. Wrightsell gonna have to force one up. Nearly got it to go. Bing controls, and that's gonna do it. Vanderbilt undefeated, 15-0, and a statement win tonight against Alabama. .96-90, the final score.
Well, for everybody who questioned the Vanderbilt Commodores, they've answered quite a few tonight. The analytics have been there, the AP voters have been there, and now, if you say they haven't beaten a quality team, Alabama is about as quality as you'll get in the SEC outside of these Commodores.
Crimson Tide fall to 11-4, 1-1 in the league. Vanderbilt 15-0, 2-0 in SEC play. For Damian Fishback, I'm Roy Philpott. Good night from Music City Sports Center right now.